Hey, everybody! Oh, you didn't do it.
What? I mean,
Well, I mean,
it didn't work so well.
That's fine.
Time.
Anyways, so welcome to the movie. There it was. Movie review time, where basically we geek out about a movie we just saw, and we just saw Beauty and the Beast. And yeah, so this is going to be our all the spoilers review, where basically we talk all the spoilers, left, right, up and down, everything, beginning to end, whatever we want to talk about. We're just going to kind of geek out about it. So
another series.
Yeah, another series. Yeah. I actually had to cut a spoiler out in the no spoilers from something else completely. But here we can talk about things. But yeah, so this is going to be all the spoilers. So I just want to, if you want a no spoiler review, there's a link in the description below, or something's popping up right about now. You can click on that, check that out instead. Then you can come on back to the spoiler video once you've seen it and you're ready. Cool? All right, so here's your warning. Spoilers, spoilers, spoilers. Do it with me. Spoilers, 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 spoilers. Good. Okay, yeah, that's enough. Do you just want to add that one more?
Yeah.
So I don't know if you realize this, but since our last review, I actually am animating text on that. Anyways, so, okay, so you guys are good, you guys are gone,
yeah.
We're clear to talk spoilers. So in Game of Thrones season, no, I won't do it here, But real quick, just in case this is the only one you're watching, let's give you a little bit of disclosure. It was very warm in that theater. I'm exhausted today. I kind of dozed in and out through the first half an hour of that movie. So until they actually got to the castle and the inanimate objects start showing up, I was drifting quite a bit here and there. Also now she seems a little low energy. Her sinuses have been kicking in. Her allergies are starting to kill her. So,
yeah.
So my poor sweetie is a little cloggy right now. But just wanted to let you guys know, so that affects the review a little bit. But, yeah, so, thoughts? How about you go first? You know what? You go first. Be my guest.
Oh, God. You've been waiting to do that, haven't you?
No, it just popped in my mind. That's why I had to go through it 3 times.
So, yeah, I liked it a lot. I think I might actually a little bit better than the animated. Because I watched the animated with him last Saturday.
I was going to say, yeah, 4 days ago I saw it for the first time.
Quite hold up as well for me. I mean, it's still good, but it's like, it's one of those things that in retrospect, when you start thinking about some things, you're going like, oh, we just kind of glossed over that, didn't we?
Uh-huh. And sadly, they've still been kind of glossed over in this, but...
but they've done a better job with it.
We'll get a little more in depth. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
But music, a lot of it is the same, but slightly differently arranged. Yeah. So like the cadences and a few things are a little different. And if you're like me, who grew up listening to the soundtrack, you're a couple times you might just cock your head to the side, and go, "Wait a minute, that's supposed to go."
Yeah, and full disclosure, there we go. I did wake up with Be Our Guest stuck in my head today from the animated. Just, it was rolling around there.
I've had that stuck in my head since last Saturday.
I know, that's why I thought I would let you know that it actually finally affected me.
I'm going to have to do it karaoke Sunday.
Okay, that's fine. There's karaoke Sunday?
Yes, there is.
I didn't know about that. Fuck. Anyways, that's not for this review. Shit. That screws up so many plans. Anyway, so... My thoughts, real quick. I was kind of meh on the animated one. It didn't really work for me. There were things about it I liked, things I didn't. I feel kind of meh on this version too, but a lot of it is different.
See, I thought you would have liked this a lot better, actually.
Well, visually, I definitely liked it better. But again, I mean, it's just the effects and everything are really, really cool. And seeing some of those things brought to life. And even the way they did almost shot for shot in some of the beginning of the movie, that first musical number, really did recreate it, which it felt weird because I didn't feel like it really translated, but at the same time, I kind of enjoyed that. You know, that they at least tried to kind of replicate that actual animated vibe, except she wasn't reading the book and not looking where she was going, which is something I actually liked about the original. But yeah, so...
it's easier to do when you're animated.
I know, and again, I get that, but there are things I think they did better here. There are things I think they did worse. Like we talked about, there's songs that were not from the animated film.
I kind of wonder if, I know there's some stuff that was cut from the original, but I'm kind of wondering if some of the stuff actually comes from the Broadway version of the show. Like Beast's big song at the end sounds very Broadway to me. Yeah,
and there was some stuff in the beginning that was weird. Also, just a disclosure, we watched the special edition animated, so we had that extra musical number, which is not in the movie, so it doesn't really make a difference.
Yeah, they actually have an alternate musical number that accomplishes the same thing as that one did.
Yeah, pretty much. I had no idea Magneto was the clock.
You didn't?
till the end. That was the one I was talking about. Like I knew Obi-Wan was the candlestick, was Lumiere, but
You didn't recognize his voice?
no, I didn't. He did a good job, I thought. So
He sounded like Ian McKellen to me.
well, I wasn't really listening for who was who. I was just actually kind of just trying to watch. I was distracted by Emma. So, Emma Watson was pretty damn perfect in this. And she's not Hermione anymore. I'm trying to, not be pervy about it, because I'm an old man, but she has grown into a beautiful young woman, we will say that.
She is playing a very Hermione-esque role.
Yes and no. She, but I mean, yeah. No,
she's the
it's not
bookworm.
Right, but not that she brought any of that necessarily to it.
That's the character.
Right, yeah. They were really faithful to the character, I thought. So I thought that was pretty cool. And Beast, they were pretty faithful to him too. So faithful that even in the transformation at the end, they got somebody who looks just as awkwardly attractive. I use the word loosely. Because that in the animated, I was like, okay.
Mom, I remember the first time we saw Mom was like, he's way too pretty.
Yeah, and they kind of had a similar kind of thing in here. It's like, okay. I'm not sure what I'm looking at here.
Yeah. I did like the opening, where they're doing how he becomes a beast.
Yes, that is something I did like, that they added more to that.
Yeah.
Instead of just a narration.
Yeah. And you recognize Sam Tucci.
Oh, yeah, Tucci.
Tucci.
Stanley Tucci.
I thought it was Tucci.
Is it Tucci? I'm 99% sure it's Tucci. You guys can settle that. But yeah, I thought that was added. That was a nice addition too, because we didn't have the piano in the original, right? I don't recall that, and I think I would have. So
no,
thought that was nice.
But yeah, I like they played more on the relationships amongst the people in the castle, and they explained why nobody knows the fucking prince went missing for 11 years.
Yeah, and I thought that was pretty cool. And enchantress,
Yes.
When they called her an enchantress, I was like, enchantress, just having flashbacks, but. Yeah, so yeah, the opening, that was a welcome expansion to the film. So, and again, where maybe I dozed, maybe I missed something. I saw that her dad was still kind of an inventor, but he didn't seem to really be doing the wacky inventions. It certainly wasn't the firewood chopper thing.
Yeah, he was more of a tinker.
Yeah, I got kind of clockmaker kind of vibe.
Yeah, he artist.
Yeah, and they kind of played on that at the end, which is one of the changes I didn't like about how they escaped. I thought it was a little easy. That, it's just like, oh, lockpick. Oh, you have a thing in your hair. Okay, I'll pick this lock that should be guarded, but for some reason the one guy left behind to guard them is walking 2 miles around away from them. It's like, all right, dude. In an empty town where there's no one to distract him.
The dude just didn't expect them to pick the lock. He's like, God, I'm bored as fuck.
Yeah, no, I get it, but at the same time, I'm like, I wish they had concocted something else. I understand why they didn't do what they did in the animation of the teacup of Chip, going with them, and he turns on this machine, because that would have been way over the top ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I feel like they could have got something closer to that than the direction they went with it, because I felt it was a little cop-outy.
Now, is this the thing you were referencing in the non-spoilers?
That's one of the things.
Okay.
Now, the other thing is the furniture attacking people, which we'll get into in a bit.
Oh.
That's where I was hoping to get it going Evil Dead, and I was like, why would I even expect this? It's not going to happen. Because it was actually pretty fucking frightening and violent in the animated film, if you really think about it. Like the chest jumping off the second level, which they did, but in the animated, it crushes some dude to death.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, yeah, it does.
No, he comes out dressed as a woman.
No, that's his twin. Trust me, I saw him. He died. He absolutely died. Everybody in there died. They were killing people. They were hacking them up and everything. None of that in the movie. Except they were pouring boiling water on people, but no one's skin was boiling off, so boo. Damn it, Disney.
Although, I was actually, during that scene where Mrs. Potts is doing the aerial attack and then falls, and it's just she'd just seen, apparently, her husband, who I guess was outside the castle when the enchantment went down.
Yeah.
Because nobody remembered anybody in the castle.
Which I think that made more sense in the movie. It was more clear in the movie than that was in the animated.
Well, in the animated, they don't even bother to try to explain it.
Right.
It's like, shit happened.
Yeah. So that's one of the areas I think they were smarter with.
I was hoping it would be the husband that caught her instead of Lefou. And,
yeah.
And there'd be this weird moment of recognition and...
Yeah, but at the same time, I like that Lefou caught her right after Gaston had betrayed him.
Yeah. It's like,
So he's like, I'm not on his team anymore. So, or what was the line? It was a good line.
Like, yeah, I've switched sides. Gaston and I are in a bad place right now.
Yeah, that's what it was. Gaston and I are in a bad place right now. That was awesome. And yeah, man, the thing that everybody was freaking out about, the drive-in in Alabama, closing it down, like we were saying in No Spoilers, if no one had mentioned it, we don't think those people would have even really cared, because it is so, like, minor. It's cute. We like what they did, but it's so minor compared...
Minor and could be basically thrown off as gags.
Right, yeah, because it wasn't anything, it was not in your face at all. The dresser, there's like these 3 dudes with swords in the big attack.
Yeah.
And they come up and the
Tom,
dresser...
Dick, and Stanley.
Okay, and the dresser, like, dresses them all as women. And of course, 2 of the dudes freak out. The one dude's kind of like, ooh, I like this. You know, and it's charming. And then, like, at the end, basically, the whole thing is that Lefou is everybody's dancing male, female, and then they accidentally get switched, and it's that guy that liked being cross-dressed ends up with Lefou, and they just kind of dance away. They don't even really show their faces or anything.
And it's like that for like 2 seconds.
Not even, you know? I mean, it's like, boom, just like quick little bit, you know? It gets a good giggle out of the audience. I'm like, really? That's what everybody's shitting their pants over? Fuck those people.
I do like the one moment during Gaston where he does this little thing. He ends up in Gaston's arms, and he's like, too much, and Gaston's like, yes.
Yeah. He gets a little too close and personal. It's like, yeah, a bit much. But yeah, that was cool. One of the things that I thought was really horrifying from the animated that was lacking in this is where they were going to send the father to the asylum. The caretaker in the cartoon was like Tales from the Crypt creepy to me.
Yeah.
And there's nothing like that in this.
No.
So that was a little disappointing. They're just kind of like, they're just going to throw him in the back of a thing, and it's just, nah. I don't know how I feel about the teleporting through the book to her childhood home. Like,
that was one of the things of character development that I felt was kind of like, I'm not sure why this is here.
Yeah, and then it was there so she could have the thing that she took that was her mom's to show the dad, and it's like, well, wait, so they can actually time travel and shit through this book because she brought a physical thing back.
It wasn't time travel. It was physical travel. It's an enchanted book.
Right.
They left their home.
Oh, you're right. No, okay, yeah.
So,
there wasn't time travel, but still, they can, like, portal to wherever. So I'm like, that's okay.
But you have to understand, but again, the book was another cruel gift to the beast, because you can go anywhere in the world, but you look like that.
Yeah. Well, you know, people suck. But anyways, I thought that Enchanted book was a weird ad.
Yeah.
And the Enchantress too. Even though I like that they expanded the beginning, I'm like, fuck that character. That character is so weird in this movie. Like she's like, oh, you're going to turn me away in a storm. Well, I'm going to curse you and all these innocent people in this house. Yet she's in the crowd when Gaston immediately turns them all into bloodthirsty fucking murderous mob, and she's cool with that. She just walks away like, I ain't going to do anything to these people. It's like, what the
thing is, I actually, that was kind of her end game.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know. That was just one of those things that set funny with me. I'm like, really? Like, you have all these powers, and you have a problem with that? Is selfish? It was like selfish. It's like, oh, because you were affected.
But it was sort of like Beast's final test.
I guess, but also
like he could have killed Gaston, and
I think
Belle would have been like.
Too.
The thing is, you know, if the monster behaves like a monster, then that kind of screws everything up.
Yeah, but why all the other innocent people in the house?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you guys think? Why don't you guys ponder that for a second? Because we're going to commercial. We'll be right back. Okay, so we were arguing for like that whole time, you know. The death of Gaston, that's what I wanted to come back to.
Okay.
Not nearly as satisfying or as cool as in the animated version. They're too separated. They aren't really like, you know, he doesn't like fall. He doesn't, the idea that Gaston creates his own demise was not as strong in the film as it was in the animated version. It was actually
a little more indirect. Because apparently the castle, I think to a certain degree, was linked to the beast's, not only the rose, but his health as well. Because like the more he got damaged, the more the castle was crumbling apart.
Yeah, which was cool. I liked that.
Yeah.
That was a neat addition.
But yeah, because in the cartoon, Gaston actually stabs him in the side, and he's kind of like, I guess, readjusting himself or something to admire his handiwork, and he ends up losing his balance, falling backwards, and plunges to his death.
Yeah.
And this one, he's shooting Beast repeatedly.
He gets 3 bullets.
He loads that gun real fast for a black powder.
And also, too, that's one of those, like, why did we have to change it to a gun? I would have been perfectly fine with it still being arrows and knives.
Well, she destroyed his arrows.
Yeah, but I mean, they didn't have to do that. They did that
Yeah.
because he had changed to a gun. So, I mean,
I don't know of other than whether they thought maybe stabbing him was a little too up close and personal for the little ones.
That's the problem with how we indoctrinate the violence in this civilization in our country, man. But that's a whole other thing. That's a whole other fucking can of worms. I don't want to get into.
Going up to somebody and stabbing them is a lot different than shooting them from a different distance. I mean, same end result, but the intimacy of the act is vastly different.
Yeah, and it just reminds me, I'll just say this and we'll move on to a different topic, but it's I love Bruce Campbell summed it up best of all people. He said the problem is that, like on TV, you can shoot a breast, but you can't kiss a breast. It's like, it's that kind of thing. It's like, whatever. But anyways, so less satisfied with the death of Gaston. Beast actually dies. He actually dies.
Did he actually die?
Yeah, he died. He stopped moving, he stopped breathing, and then she said she loved him and kissed him, and the enchantress was standing right there, and poof. Because I thought that was weird, too. The final petal actually dropped and everything before she said, I love you. So that was an interesting change. I'm okay with it. I just thought that was kind of interesting.
I did like the fact that, going back to actually the beginning of the movie, they actually took one of the elements from the original story, which is... In the cartoon, her father is imprisoned after the Beast catches him in his house. But this actually hews closer to the original story, where he pisses off the Beast by taking a flower.
Okay, I remember that, and I was actually going to ask you, because I was worried, did I doze through this? But it sounds like it didn't happen from the animated, where the dad goes in and he meets all the animated objects.
Yeah, he did go in. He was okay until Chip scooched himself forward and went, hi! And he's like, okay, bye.
Okay. That was one of the little areas I may have dozed
and
on
hightailed it out of there, and he's riding out, and he's like, oh yeah, I told my daughter I'd get her a rose on the way home. And he's like, oh, there's some roses over there. Let me take one. And Beast is out in the garden. He's going like, oh, hell no.
That's exactly how Beast did it, too, just like that. No. Actually, that would have been hilarious. Oh god, now I kind of want to see like outtakes. Like if that was like, I know it's CG, but like if it was a practical makeup, imagine the fun outtakes they could have had with that.
No, that would have been for the version where if you go and watch the What's Good version of Bonjour on YouTube. They're like, what's good? What's good?
Oh, okay, I'll have to look that up. Also check out the How It Should Have Ended for the animated Beauty and the Beast. That one's really good. Another big change they made that I don't really have feelings on either way, but I'll bring it up, is Chip was the only kid. Wasn't a bunch of kids as Cups and stuff like it was in the animated one.
There were, I think there were other Cups, but I think they went, let's not make Miss Potts mother of 20 children.
Yeah, because that was something we talked about in the animated one too, is I assumed it was kind of more adopted-ish kind of stuff.
I think that was my idea.
Yeah, well, that's what we were talking about. Sorry, I wasn't. Excuse me. Sorry, I didn't mean my bad. Your idea, my bad.
But it seemed to me because Mrs. Potts was much older, and,
in the animated,
and Chip was much younger. I'm sitting here like it'd be more plausible for them to have taken in like a bunch of orphans as servants, and she was like the den mother.
Right, that's what I was thinking. So I liked it a little bit better in here, I think.
Yeah. Emma Thompson.
But Chip, I tell you what, as a kid. Mm-hmm. He'd be one of those really annoying kids you'd want to smack the shit out of.
You mean you?
Maybe.
Definitely him.
I might have been a little annoying that way. Yeah, shit. The more I think about it, the more I probably was like Chip. Fair enough. But that was pretty cool. And the animation on that was really good, too.
Yeah.
Ewan McGregor was fantastic as Lumiere. I think I said it No, we didn't. I said it here about Ian McKellen.
I loved Plumette. They really expanded her role.
They did, and their relationship I thought was better than it was in the animated thing. That's one of the things I liked more in this one than the animated version.
Yeah, in the anime version is much more of a throwaway scene.
Mm-hmm. So it was nice. They did a good job making you care more about the house objects in the movie, I think, than the animated. I cared in the animated, but I cared more in the cinematic version. Plus, watching them all kind of die and turn into their things at the end was pretty cool.
Well, the thing is, I was like, I actually, it's one of those things where you kind of know better in the back of your head, but it's going like, when when they're all transforming into their objects and Chip is sailing through the air and you're like, oh!
Yeah, because you see the saucer actually break that he's flying on, and it actually hits the ground and shatters, and Chip's about to. Yeah, I had that moment of, whoa! Even though you kind of know it's not going to go that way, you still, in that moment, you're like, oh, no! No! Oh, sorry, I got an invader now. Yeah, so that worked out pretty well. Yeah.
You're like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Lefou. All right, well, the costumes were really, really good in this as well. Particularly the big yellow dress. I actually really liked that. I thought that worked out really well. And the Beast's jacket and stuff. Although I was thinking, why does he have knee-high pants? Why can't he wear normal-sized pants with, like, full legs?
Because, did you see how his legs were built?
So? He had a magical dresser that could dress anybody any way they wanted to.
I'm saying full pants may not be comfortable.
Well, it's formal wear is generally not comfortable.
And also, in that century period clothing, men wore knee breeches.
Well, can we bring those back? Because, like, I thought people are making fun of those kind of pants now. I like them. Anyways, I'm nitpicking.
You are.
Yeah, but speaking of the magical dresser.
But I liked how he started dressing better once he started being more friendly to Belle.
That's what dudes do when they find ladies they like. Maybe not when everything is dirty, but
laundry day.
Yeah.
Hashtag laundry day.
Although not t-shirts, I got plenty of clean t-shirts.
I should hope so.
Right. But the dresser, man, the dresser was kind of cool. I love the way they first dressed Belle. It was just a mess with like the wig and everything. But like it was so many clothes that she was literally able to like duck down out of it and crawl out of it, and it's like the dress was still standing.
She had one of those giant hoop skirts to use as a base. That helps.
Yeah, but I thought that was really funny.
Yeah, I think the dresser was kind of like, oh, what? I'm not awake. I'll just throw something out there. And, all right, I'm going back to bed now.
And let me on while I say this. I think that was a nice addition to the character too. You know, that she was kind of often sleepy and falling asleep, having trouble waking up. She
was almost the opposite because I don't know. I'm trying to think of the cartoon, because the cartoon was much. Actually, the cartoon character is much more lovable. The dresser in this one is manic, followed by Sleeping Beauty.
Yeah, pretty much. And then of course she's in love with Stanley Tucci, the piano thing, and I love that in the fight, he was spitting out the keys like bullets. Yeah. But then when he turned human, like his teeth were all missing. That was a cute little touch. That was cute. I liked that.
Yeah, and then he apparently gets really nice false teeth afterwards because he's smiling through like the entire final song. He has this big smile.
Yeah, did you see the teeth in like the credit thing though? Because in the credits they like had each character show up.
Yeah, his teeth were crap.
Ooh, that's putting it mildly. But they were, they made Austin Powers look beautiful. But yeah, one of the other big changes was the dad, Gaston and the dad.
Oh yeah.
Basically trying to leave the dad for dead.
Yeah, actually, huge changes in the cartoon. They do the Gaston song, and then Maurice, I finally remember her dad's name. Maurice bursts in, going like, "There's a beast! There's a big, terrible beast! He's got my daughter!" Yada yada. And everybody's like, he's crazy, and kicks him out. And there, at that point, Gaston's like, crazy old Maurice. Let's throw him in the insane asylum.
I can use this.
In the movie, though, he goes, okay, let's see where this goes. You know, he's the father of the woman I'm trying to marry. Let me get on his good side. So they get in a carriage, they start driving out, and they get to the point where Maurice diverged off the main path to go to the thing. The thing is, the path's not there anymore.
Because originally lightning had struck a tree, blocking his path and revealing a new one.
Yeah. But the tree was back where it was before, and Maurice is like, magic?
Yeah, and then they're like, yeah, we ain't having this.
And
then they chain him to a tree.
And Gaston blows up on him. And Lefou calls him down. And then Gaston's like, look, I just want to marry your daughter. Maurice is like, oh, hell no!
Yeah, you're never gonna marry my daughter. Never.
At which point goes, really then? Let's see what happens when she no longer has a father to go home to. And ties him to a tree and leaves him for the wolves.
Yep.
And Lefou's going like, do you really want to do this?
Yeah. Lefou was trying to be
I think that was the beginning of the end of his and Lefou's relationship. Lefou's going, no. Mm-mm.
Yeah, pretty much. And again, Enchantress comes in and like saves the dad.
Yeah.
Maurice.
Yeah. At that point, you don't
kind of odd too.
know she's the Enchantress, though.
Oh, I did. I knew that was kind of obvious to me right away.
The first time they introduce her in the village?
Maybe not in the village, but when she comes to the aid of the dad.
Well, at that point,
okay.
Yeah, I'm saying.
Okay. I don't remember if I remember that in the first time. I might have dozed, but...
Yeah. Well, no. The first time you see her in the village is when Gaston is trying, as at Belle's house, going like, do you know what happens to spinsters in this village after their parents die? They end up like Abigail.
Oh, right. That was the Enchantress?
Yes, it was.
Okay. All right, cool. The other thing just to bring up real quick is the triplets.
Yeah.
They weren't blonde. They weren't as...
Triple D. They weren't identical.
And they weren't like fawning over Gaston as they were, but not like nearly like as cartoony as in the cartoon.
Yeah.
You know, they weren't like just jaws dropping, drooling over the man.
Yeah.
So, you know, that was okay. That part could have been a little better because that was something we did enjoy from the cartoon version.
Although I did like the fact that Lefou, because my thing is like, Gaston, why the hell are you chasing after Belle? You could just marry one of the triplets, you'll get all three, trust me. Meanwhile, Lefou in the movie's going like, why are you chasing a triplet? Triplets!
Yeah. And he's like, you're never going to happen, ladies. You know, that kind of stuff, which is kind of fun. But then later tries to sell Gaston on dating them, so that was weird. But
yeah.
But anyways,
because he saw things going badly with Belle.
Yeah. That's a good point. All right. Well, anyways, that pretty much covers it for me.
Yeah, I think so. Until, about 10 minutes later when we're like, oh, fuck, we forgot something.
That's how these things go.
Yeah.
But that's why we turn to you guys and ask you guys. Well, let me give my just wrap-up thoughts. Again, just kind of meh on it.
I liked it.
I mean, maybe if I watch it a second time with lowered expectations, not that my expectations were too high, and actually don't fall asleep.
Awake,
I know. But yeah, so... There you go. So what about you guys? Did you see it yet? Did you love it? What was your favorite part? Do you agree? Do you disagree? What changes did you like? What changes did you not? All those kind of things. Geek out with us in the comments. That's what we like to hear. We like to hear your thoughts. That's why we do these things. It's not... We enjoy giving you our thoughts, but also that triggers you guys giving us your thoughts, and it's very interesting to hear. Plus, you educate us a lot on a lot of things a lot of the time. I'm pointing at me because I mean me. I just say I'm trying to be inclusive. So do that. Comment away. Let us know what you're thinking. Other than that, you click that thumbs up button. Give that thumb of encouragement. We do love to be encouraged. Until I fix the new card. There you go. No, don't do that. All right, so we're going to get out of here, probably watch some more movies, and we'll see you all later.